On the evening of April 26, 2026, 2,600 journalists, politicians, and celebrities packed into the basement ballroom of the Washington Hilton. This annual gala, affectionately known as the Nerd Prom, is designed to be an evening of self-deprecation. It serves as a symbolic truce between the administration and the free press assigned to cover it. But this dinner deviated from years of recent tradition. For the first time as Commander-in-Chief, President Donald Trump was in the room. The president had boycotted the event throughout his first term. His return came at a time when the White House had escalated its legal battles with major publishers and issued explicit threats to imprison reporters over the use of anonymous sources. Bringing a president who had labeled the media the enemy of the people into a room full of their colleagues turned the standard gala into a high-stakes encounter for both the administration and the press. Outside the Hilton's secure perimeter, dozens of demonstrators had gathered near the venue's entrance. They were protesting the ongoing U.S. military campaign in Iran, known as Operation Epic Fury, holding signs denouncing the conflict and accusing the journalists inside of being complicit in the war. Back inside, the formal program prepared to kick off. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump were announced to the crowd and took their seats at the prominent head table. The first family's arrival meant the central targets of the protests outside were now sitting in a basement ballroom with the reporters who had spent years documenting their policies. At exactly 8:30 p.m., the sound of dinner service was cut short by 4 to 6 loud bangs that echoed off the high ceiling of the ballroom. This floor plan shows exactly where those sounds originated. Gunfire centered in a hallway near the metal detectors, just outside the ballroom doors. Because that checkpoint is steps away from the back tables, the shots felt as though they were inside the room. Reporters, military leaders, and cabinet secretaries abandoned their seats, diving onto the carpet and taking cover beneath the draped banquet tables. Within seconds, the most secure social gathering in Washington was reduced to a room of people in formal wear, pressed against the floor, waiting to see if doors would hold. Simultaneously, a Secret Service counter-assault team responded. Heavily armed agents in combat gear flooded the room and vaulted onto the stage. Agents physically shielded the president and first lady, forcing them to duck behind the dais to protect them from any fire coming from the hallway. A rapid extraction protocol was initiated immediately. Security details hustled the president, along with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and RFK Jr., out of the ballroom and into a secure holding area. At the screening area, the Secret Service successfully engaged a suspect. The shooter was killed in the hallway, neutralized before they could breach the heavy doors of the ballroom. Despite the panic on the dining floor, the multi-layered security detail achieved its primary objective, stopping the threat at the perimeter and extracting every high-level protectee within minutes. The Hilton remained locked down as federal agents systematically swept the room, their shouts of "clear" ringing out over a stunned audience. The ballroom sat in a state of bizarre contrast. The head table was completely empty, while 2,600 attendees remained huddled on the floor. While he was in a secure holding room, President Trump reportedly requested to return to the ballroom to finish the program. Acting on those requests, Hilton staff actually began attempting to reset the head table, adjusting water glasses and silverware while the building was still a lockdown crime scene. The 2026 dinner concluded with Secret Service agents sweeping the ballroom while staff reset tables for a president who refused to leave, a lasting image of a political culture that had become as volatile as it was heavily guarded.